What's good, my boy? Today's video is about privilege and why you should not be ashamed whether or not you have or do not have certain privileges, and you should utilize it as a tool in your disposal. Okay? So, I'll use my first. I'll use myself at first as an example. Okay? Growing up, I liked to play. I probably played victim too much. I was overweight. I weighed like 300 fucking pounds, and I would just numb myself with alcohol and all these different things, and I just I didn't look at the good things that I had in life. A lot of it was me comparing myself to other people and digging myself a deeper hole to climb out of, or a better way of putting it would be I raised the bar so high because I was so low, or perceived myself as low, that I raised this bar so high that some of these concepts and the amount of work I put in nowadays just seemed foreign to me. But after some real reflection of the tools at my disposal and the things that I have and have been blessed with, I chose to utilize them. Okay? Now, there are hundreds of thousands of young men out there with parents as well as women, but I looked at my statistics. It said my channel's like 85-90% men, so we in a sausage party, my boys. But there's millions of young men out there who have a comfortable living. Okay? And what I mean by this is your parents, for the most part, will let you live at home, and they're not going to kick you fucking out of the house. Okay? And because of this, I believe it's hard to frame this without it being perceived as like using people. But this is a common tradition in Middle Eastern families and all sorts of Asian countries. All these other cultures see this as a normal, smart thing to do. Let some of these people, they like allow the kids to live in their house until they're like 28, 30 years old. Now me, I don't live with my parents anymore, but I do live with my grandpa. It's kind of like we got like my grandma, she passed away like 6 or 7 years ago, and I moved up here, and it's kind of like we got a bachelor pad. We just be chilling, having people come through. We got a wood shop and a business that I'm starting, and I'll tie that into utilizing your privilege later on. But I did have the option to stay with my parents and utilize the ability to not have to pay a $2,000 rent bill and stay in the workforce. And that's what this all ties down to, is we have these dreams, we have these goals, we have these things out there. And luck is a real thing, okay? This shit takes a amount of luck, whatever dream or goal you have, right place, right time, to happen, okay? And all this video is about utilizing your privilege to better your odds. And if you have a decent, at best, relationship with your parents, they would be understanding, and they would be probably thrilled if you started putting in some form of effort. I know that my perception from my parents whenever I was like 300 pounds, just kind of like loser, not really doing anything, I had zero goals, it was kind of like, ugh. Like, they're just kind of like, of course they love me, but they were just like, ugh, what the fuck? Damn, did we go wrong? And then I started getting initiative and drive, and there was a lot of other complexities with my relationship with my parents that led to me moving. I still love them, of course, but I was not, I chose not to utilize that privilege. And really, to tie into other people, though, if you do have this as an option, there's a guy named Sam Hyde, comedian guy. He puts it in a more funny way. But even if you're not chasing like this abstract, crazy dream, you could literally save up so much fucking money if you got a decent job or got into a good little thing going, where 2 to 3 years and you just save that fucking money, you're set for a long time. It's like there's so many attributes that go along with this where you could truly just completely set yourself up if you buckle down. And if you take it a step further and try to build a business while you're in this scenario, say you want to work for yourself, there's no better time than this little moment, this privileged moment. I'll tell you a story. There's this YouTuber guy that I used to watch, probably I'd say about 3 or 4 years ago, named Hamza. He's like this Indian self-improvement dude. And whenever I used to watch him, he told this story about how he was living away from his parents, him and his girlfriend just in this other town. He was working 9 to 5 type shit. And he had this dream, and he thought about what was around him and what he had at his disposal. And his parents allowed him to move back home, quit his job, and pursue this. And now he has like 3 or 4 million subscribers. He's making like $200,000 a month. He's practically made it by his own definition. Now, my parents, it was mandatory that I had a job. I had to have some form of a job during this time, okay? And that was one of the rules. You're not going to college, you have to have a job. Shit like that. I think that's a commonality for a lot of people. But still, the ability to live with somebody and not pay rent, there are people who do not have this privilege. Now, on the other hand of the coin, don't brag about it and be like, man, I was made out of the motherfucking mud. Boy, I got this shit by myself. No, you got to acknowledge the people that have helped you. Like, I'm at the point I am now because my grandpa has allowed me to live with him and build this thing up here. If this was not the case, then I would be I would be living totally differently, thinking totally differently. Everything would be different. But I chose to truly think of what was at my disposal. My grandpa has 50 acres here. So peaceful and calm. He has a wood shop that was unused for many years and just cluttered up. This whole place looked like an episode of Hoarders, okay? And whenever I moved here, and I've fucking been, while working as a contractor, building houses and shit, in unison with this, cleaning it up, and I've gotten it to the point where I have an area I built myself a whole gym. I've cleaned up the wood shop, and I've thought, it's like, before this, I like to build and stuff like that, right? I like little creative shit. But woodworking was not on the list of my priorities. But through being a contractor and working with wood, and then truly looking at what was at my disposal, my privilege, I have access to a whole fucking production wood shop. Why would I not use this? I do like this, and I guarantee myself that if I really pursue it a lot more, I'll fall in love with it. I'm obsessive about so many random things, and I chose to utilize that privilege. There's another guy, YouTube guy, people you probably heard of, named Destiny, the little blue-haired liberal dude, okay? I don't agree with all of his politics, but during the hustle culture times and the Andrew Tate's rise to fame and all that shit, I think it was last year or something like that, I saw a clip from him where he was talking about, like, luck and how it's real and how everybody's not going to make it. And at the time, I was really, like, into the hustle culture shit, and I was like, fuck this dude, fucking libtard pussy boy. That was, like, what was going through my head. But then after really thinking about what he said, his story is he had a child while he was young, and he started cleaning carpets, and that was pretty much his thing, is he was a carpet cleaner, and he went to school for music, and there ain't much fucking money in playing the saxophone, my boy, like that. So he got in real early on this streaming shit, and it just so happened now he's a fucking millionaire. It worked out for him, but he had to be at the right place at the right time. He got in early, and so it is a real thing. He also does acknowledge that everyone has the ability to achieve their dreams, but not everyone will do it, okay? But what you can do, what your actionable things are, is taking the fucking initiative to start doing things, looking around you. This is the key point, at where you could get an advantage. And the way I say it, it kind of sounds like fucking like some Machiavellian type shit, but it's truly not. We're not here, what I'm preaching is not to take advantage of people, but look at the tools at your disposal and just see what you could utilize. I mean, and it's not all about leaving people worse off or using people. It's about working together in unison. Okay, me and my grandpa are like a team. We're building this woodworking business together. Before I moved here, he was laid up with arthritis, terrible, hoarded around the house, trash. I think I hauled like 3 16-foot trailer loads worth of trash out of this fucking place, trying to restore it. And I came here at first seeking refuge away from my past existence. I had just gotten in a fucking car crash, and I was pretty low at the point. And I built myself up, but in unison, we built each other up. And now he's fucking every single day working in his garden, working in the wood shop, loving it. We're like best buddies, okay? And that's what you got to look out for. What they can provide this for you, but what can I also provide them in return for helping me take advantage of this privilege I have? And I'm kind of looking too deep into it at this point, because there's a shit ton of people out there where you don't have to think like this. Your fucking parents will let you. There are all the people who watch Aiden Ross's Twitch streams and play video games all day. I know fucking a ton of them. And it's like, they have these dreams and shit, and they're just squandering this privilege that they have. They're squandering the fact that their parents let them stay, because they're going to college. And they're squandering the fact that you have so much fucking privilege. You could have been born anywhere else to anybody else where you would not have had this option. You could have been fucking Francis Ngannou, salt mines in Africa. Okay? So, this process is all about looking around you, utilizing your privilege, and developing gratitude for it. Like, I'm extremely grateful. I write in my fucking journal and say to myself all throughout the day, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for my grandpa. Thank you, God, for this. Thank you, God, for just all these different things that build gratitude and just make you feel better. So, I mean, that's a little extra of a thing on here, but truly, you look around. I could list out 1,000,000 different examples, right? Just know that there are 1,000 ways people have become successful, and truly, they're all unique. I kind of like this point of, like, don't take advice, because it's just what has worked for that person. That is a true thing. And what I'm really targeting in on this privilege is it's a unique thing for each one of us. I got a buddy whose dad has been doing general contracting work, hands-on, not no clipboard in the fucking F-150 type shit, F-350 dually fucking going to the job site with the boys every day. His dad's been doing that, and he's been working with his dad since he's 12. I've been doing this shit for a while, but my buddy, he has 10 times more experience. He has all these years that he's been fucking doing it. His dad has all these things, and he's utilizing this privilege. There's just so many fucking things out there where you just gotta think, look around you. Maybe it's the city you're at. Maybe you're in New York and you can get into some networking scenes and start meeting people and start doing this and expand your thing, like fucking Basquiat, Jean-Michel Basquiat, the painter. How he met all these different people and networked from being fucking homeless to being $1 million paintings. It's like, you got to utilize the privilege. Some would have seen him at homeless and been like, oh, that guy has no privilege. But he does. He's in fucking New York City. The biggest city in the whole fucking world. Maybe you're in Los Angeles. Maybe you live near a major city. Like, I'm in Texas. I live in bumfuck nowhere. So I'm utilizing my privilege of having a network, a fucking internet connection, a cell phone, and trying to broadcast myself out there to the world. I have the privilege of that. Okay? It's utilizing the tools at your disposal to gain an advantage and kind of shape the odds of luck into your favor. And then you gotta bust ass, my boy. You gotta work motherfucking hard. And you can achieve things. I mean, I'm not there yet by any means, but the things I've achieved in the past, 3 years have filled me with such a level of self-confidence that I'm not really afraid to do anything. I've lost over 100 pounds from going from thinking that I was going to be fat stoner my whole entire fucking life and I had no perception of future goals to I'm like one of the most ambitious people I know. I'm just constantly thinking of fucking things to do, trying to do things, militant, just waking up, time blocking all my time, trying to get this shit done. And I also have fun and shit like that, of course, but I really used to never have any fucking goals. Whenever I look back to being 17 years old, before a series of events happened that really changed my life, I didn't perceive anything. No college, no goal. I mean, whenever I was asked the question of what do you want to do when you grow up, it was like an existential crisis because it was like, man, I ain't thought about that shit ever. Fuck, I'm just chilling over here playing World of Warcraft, getting high, drinking all day. Just chilling. It's like, and I went from that to where I'm literally about to start my own company. I just spent like an hour and a half this morning more working on this website that I'm trying to do. And anything really is possible. This shit changes so much. I know I'm getting into the weeds of some generic-ass self-improvement advice. But, again, I'll just harp down on the point. Utilize your privilege. Do not be ashamed of it. That is how we get ahead, is truly utilizing what's at our disposal. I found an old art easel, painting easel, from one of my great-grandmothers in the wood shop when I was cleaning it up. I put it in a room in the house, and I started painting, and I've been doing it for like a year now. Got a whole hobby just off of something that I found, a tool at my disposal, a privileged thing. I had an old guitar my grandparents had bought me one year, just laying around, and I turned it into a whole fucking music studio and built a whole passion from it. I utilized a tool that I had at my disposal. You have to spark these things. These passions and stuff do not just come out of thin air. They're sparked from something you hear, something you read, something you have, something you do. That's how you get the momentum and the ball rolling. So, utilize your privilege, my boy. Get ahead. Have goals. Chase paper. Enjoy art and nature. And have a good one.